Tom Harris, a spy who works for the CIA, is disguised as the internet maintainer. He is hired to check the internet in a nuclear facility by the Iranian government and insert malware into the cable to access the underground structure. As the CIA gains access, they take pictures of the Iranian soldiers and the facility. An Iranian soldier asks Tom to show them what he did, but he doesn't answer him. His translator, Oliver, tells the soldier that they are almost done and protects Tom from their suspicion by telling them that he doesn't talk much. He takes out his phone and plays a football match for them as they now have faster internet. He informs the CIA that everything is clear, and they execute their plan to prevent the Iranians from acquiring more nuclear bombs. Journalist Luna, while recording a video of her talking about Iran choosing not to abandon making nuclear bombs, receives a file of the nuclear facility pictures from James, who instructs her not to reveal the assets' names. She informs her boss, Hans, that her Pentagon source just came through, and he is excited upon learning this as they are ahead of their competitors. Tom contacts his wife, Corey, to tell her that he gets in late tomorrow night at the airport, and will call her if his flight is delayed. She asks him to make sure to be on the plane this time because their daughter, Ida, has already told her friends that her dad will be there for her graduation. He is shocked upon learning that his wife is divorcing him. She isn't happy with him working as a spy and wants him to be a teacher since he has the degree. He responds that he is not that interested in sitting behind a desk all day and apologizes to her for everything. Mohammed, who was banished from Afghanistan, is now back in the country with the help of Roman and is hired to work as a translator for Roman's friend. The nuclear facility is successfully destroyed by the CIA, and most of the radiation is trapped underground. Iranian Colonel Assadi believes only the Americans or Israelis have this capability, but General Hamadani responds that the only problem is proving it. Assadi says they have been monitoring Luna, who receives classified files on all CIA operations in the Middle East. Hamadani tells him to do whatever it takes. Tom collects his things in preparation to go to the airport and tells Oliver to wipe out all the hard drives from the house. In Pakistan, a Taliban leader informs Cahill, who is with Pakistan Inter-Services Intelligence, that the Northern Alliance conducts raids in Sheberghan. They are massing a small force outside of Kunduz. The man says he needs more ammunition for the rifles and rockets. Cahill wonders how he could run out of ammunition when the Americans left him with it. He responds that was a long time ago, and they are also fighting Daesh. Cahill wants the man to talk about the assassination of the teacher in Herat, and he replies they are re-educating the population in the old ways set forth by Mullah Omar. Cahill doesn't like that the Taliban abuse people, like chopping their heads off or beating women in public. He tells the man that the world is watching and instructs him to show the world that he is modernizing. The Taliban says he is not worried about little girls going to school. What he worries about is traitors. Cahill advises him to stop doing this, otherwise there will be no sanctuary for him or any of them anywhere in Pakistan because the Americans will come again. He informs General Agha about the meeting and that they all have gone mad. However, Agha is fine as long as they keep their backs to India. At the airport, Tom's flight is delayed, so he gets some gifts for his daughter, and suddenly he receives a message from Roman, who tells him to meet up at Juliet. While Luna is on a call with her boyfriend, Qjai, a group of Iranian soldiers break into her apartment and kidnap her to Assadi. After Tom succeeds in helping the United States destroy Iran's nuclear facility, Roman informs him that he has another job for him to do. However, Tom responds that he will do it when he gets back from his daughter's graduation. Roman says that this one can't wait. It will start tomorrow, and the duration is 3 days of work. He convinces him to do it for his daughter, who wants to be a doctor, and he could put her through any medical school she wants with the money he is offered. He then agrees to do it, and Roman reveals that destroying Iran's nuclear facility was just the beginning. He says Langley wants a covert airstrip just across the Afghanistan border near Taybad. They are going to go in there and destroy their whole nuclear program before Iran has the chance to build a big bomb. He tells Tom to insert on the Afghanistan side in Iran, which is in Herat. That area is now crawling with foreign spooks. Tom wonders why he can't get anybody else to do this, and Roman responds that he doesn't want to because only Tom can get the job done. Tom tells him that he is going to need a good handler, and Roman has got a guy already who is actually Mohammed. They go to the safe house in Kandahar, which is in the north of Herat. As the country is locked up tight, Mohammed tells Tom that if he needs something, just let him know, and he will make a run for it. He reveals that he was born and raised there until he was 16. Assadi confronts Luna about an American named James who sent her information about his country's nuclear program and asks her to tell him about the company she was researching, which is a Swiss company called Civlix. She says they were working exclusively in nuclear and military facilities. He asks her to give him some names at Civlix, but she responds that she doesn't have any names. Mohammed is curious about Tom's mission. He responds that he is told to go to a landing strip near Taybad. Mohammed is shocked upon learning that he is also going to Taybad with him because Roman told him that he was only supposed to be Tom's translator in Herat. That night, he sneaks out to see his sister Nahal, who wonders why he is here as the Taliban are still searching for him. He replies that his wife Adela's sister, Fatma, went missing, and he promised Adela that he would find her. She was teaching in Herat. Nahal doesn't know what happened to Fatma. She only knows that the female teachers disappeared. She tells him that there was never going to be a place for them with the Taliban, not as judges, teachers, translators, or doctors. She will send a word to him if she hears anything about Fatma. He asks her to come with him as there is a flight out, but she refuses to. He comes to see his son's grave and expresses that he misses him. He wishes that he had died instead of his son. Because of the information that Luna provided Asadi, Oliver and Tom, including her, are now exposed all over the news. Roman is concerned about Tom upon seeing that and informs him that they are now exposed. Oliver got killed while making breakfast. Asadi learns that Tom is in Herat and informs Hamadani that he has found the target, and they immediately send out an action team to capture him. Afghanistan general secretly listens to Asadi and Hamadani's conversation and discovers that they have found Tom. So, he contacts Cahal to ask him to come to Herat while he was spending his holidays. The general wants him to capture Tom before the Iranians do, and they will sell him on the open market. Roman discusses with the CIA how they can save Tom. He tells Chris Hoyt, who is the head of their special operations group, that Tom is a loan to them from MI6, which stands for Military Intelligence Section 6. He is one of his go-to-low-vis guys and is running with a former Afghanistan translator they flew in to assist. Hoyt is curious if the Iranians are their only problem. Roman responds that not only the Iranians, but many others are coming for Tom, like Afghanistan, the Taliban, Pakistan, Indians, Russians, or Chinese. If any of them catch him, they will sell him to the highest bidder. Mark tells Roman that they are going to cut them loose as they have no other options, but Roman protests. So, Mark decides to have the deputy director call MI6 to get Tom back. Roman apologizes to Tom for putting him in this situation. He says it's okay, as he knows what he is signing up for. Cahal contacts a Taliban named Rasul to hire his crew for a snatch and drive in Gandhar. He replies that he knows who Cahal is looking for, but the Iranians have already paid him to do it. Cahal will double whatever they pay him, and he responds that he doesn't want the money. He asks Cahal to make him the head of the military council. With no choice, Cahal agrees with him and makes his way to Herat on a motorcycle. Tom has many Iranians on his trail, including the Taliban, while going to Kandahar. He manages to lose them 100 miles ahead, but they get his tire exploded. Mohammed is furious at Tom upon realizing that he is being lied to, as he thought he came here just to translate. Meanwhile, Tom notices there is a man hiding behind the bush, and soon he realizes it was just a kid who carries a bomb remote. He reveals the truth to Mohammed that he was the one who destroyed Iran's nuclear facility. Mohammed is curious why the CIA agents just can't come and pick them up. He responds that they are cutouts in an even bigger game, and no one is coming to rescue them. So, they just have to get to Kandahar, and then they will regroup. Though, they can't make it to Kandahar without help, and Tom is going to meet an old friend who might have a helicopter. As Roman receives a message from Tom that he is going to meet an old friend in Dilaram, he contacts Ismail to do him a favor. Cahal comes across the kid who ambushed Tom and asks him for the direction where Tom went. Tom uses night goggles while driving instead of lights to prevent exposing his position. He has only 20 more miles until he arrives at his friend's location. Suddenly, an Iranian helicopter appears to stop him, and they cause his truck's engine to break down. After a while, he eventually takes down the helicopter and decides to settle there for the night. Tom shares his little snack with Mohammed to break a fast. He shares a story about his battle buddy named Siddiqui. Siddiqui was his translator through 6 tours. He tried to get him to the US or London, but then ISIS rode through Mosul, and they hung him. Though, he's glad that Mohammed made it to the States and got his family out. Mohammed responds that not all of them made it. His oldest son, Hamid, was killed there. Knowing that Tom also has a daughter and is supposed to be at her graduation this weekend, he encourages him to go home and hold her in his arms before he forgets what it feels like. Tom expresses his feeling that he is more comfortable with Mohammed, whom he barely knows, than he is with his family. The next day, they are taken to meet Ismail, and Mohammed doesn't seem happy to see him. Ismail tells Tom that if only he had come by yesterday, he would have flown him by himself, as the Taliban have already borrowed his helicopter for an operation in the north. He can only give him a truck, and he will be in Kandahar in 3 hours. Mohammed confronts Ismail by revealing he is a warlord who raised Herat. Ismail responds that it was just business. A higher bidder paid him for it, and he says he will do it again, just like he did for the Russians, ISI, or Americans. Though he killed thousands of women and children, and one of them was Mohammed's son. He gives a chance to Mohammed to get revenge on him for his son, but Mohammed chooses to forgive him. Tom apologizes to Mohammed as he had no idea that Ismail killed his son, and they continue to Kandahar with the truck that Ismail provided. After they leave, Ismail gives information about them to the Afghanistan general. The general contacts Cahill that their target is heading to Kandahar, and his flight will leave in 6 hours. Cahill promises that he will catch Tom for him, but after that, he wants a transfer to London or Paris. After a while, Tom is captured by the Taliban, led by Rasul. They beat them badly, and Mohammed suffers the most for betraying his country. But then, they are attacked by Roman and his Afghanistan Special Forces buddies who are pretending to be ISIS. Rasul informs Cahill that ISIS fighters have attacked them and requests air support. Cahill tells him not to be a coward and hold them off until he gets there. Rasul is killed during the hold-off, and Roman breaks through the gate to rescue Tom and Mohammed. As Cahill realizes that the attackers are not ISIS, he arranges to cut them off at Maywand as an old CIA base is near there, and the Brits have an inbound plane. Tom has Cahill on his trail while making his way to the flight, and Roman gives himself up for Tom to escape, though he is having a hard time escaping from the explosives. A lot of Taliban trucks are also emerging from the north and east to stop him. Then his truck is blown up when he almost arrives at the base gate. Cahill tells the Taliban to hold their positions, and he is going in to capture Tom by himself. They both get shot while confronting each other, and Cahill gets dropped after receiving another shot to his shoulder. Seeing the Taliban are approaching them, Tom and Mohammed bid farewell to each other before their lives end. But their hopes rise when they hear the explosion. Chris Hoyt orders the Air Force to destroy them without authority, as he can't watch any more of his men die today. In the end, Tom and Mohammed make their way to the plane and reunite with their families.